Her eyes completely changed. Her neck went into lock and almost trembling. And when I saw her left hind shuffling from right to left hind, and it was almost like she was not knowing where to place that left hind. And for me, this is when I slow down. The moment I picked up the left fore, she snatched it away from me, not just once, but twice. Her eyes completely changed. Her neck went into lock and almost trembling. And when I saw her left hind, it was like it was doing a dance. She just couldn't put it on the floor. But when I tried the right fore, I lifted it up and I was almost anticipating the same reaction. But she just stood there so calm, so peaceful. And that's when I was like, okay, something is going on. This cannot be a coincidence. And this is actually why I love being wrong. Curiosity as a tool in life, as a therapist. Let me take you inside of this case. So here I am, I'm in Bali, I've met this beautiful Andalusian mare for the first time. And the only thing I was told is she's a little bit tricky to pick up her front feet. And sure enough, as soon as I lift up that left fore, she pulls it away, not once, but actually twice. And she means it. You know a horse, when you're in the stable and they know what's coming, and I could see it, feel it straight away. Walking towards that left fore, she's backing up a bit, I'm going in, she's moving away. They know what's coming, you know what's coming. What I find interesting, and let me know if you resonate with this comment below, is that you never get told the full story. Why is it with horses, the equestrian industry, where people think it's like a game because you're the expert or they've paid you to come in to help their horse, but it's actually going to be a mystery knowing the horse's history because you're not told the truth? And the same goes for the owners. How many of you have bought a horse and got told everything is green, everything is great? By green, I mean A-okay. And then you find out over the coming 2 weeks, because that's probably at least some time you need to find out what's going on with your horse, that things aren't quite as they seem. And then you get the whole, oh yeah, this might have happened, and oh yeah, that happened. And at the end of the day, we all talk about it, but it's a sad truth because we're working with an unpredictable animal. And I'm not saying that to be dangerous and to be scary, but it's the truth. They're an animal, they are huge, they are so powerful. They're beautiful, but they are so powerful and they can really do a lot of damage. So why not be honest? Why not say it how it is? When I picked up the right fore, it was like a different horse. Stood so calm, so peaceful. She looked totally relaxed. And you couldn't help but ask yourself, what was going on? Now, I would love to know, from what I've just said, are you drawn to, okay, well, the left fore must be the issue? Or are you thinking, no, it's the right fore? Comment and let me know below. So instead of going, okay, I'm going to lift up the leg again and just keep playing with this and basically trying to prove to yourself that you can pick up the leg. Instead of doing this, I went into curiosity mode. I started watching her face because her eyes were telling me a lot. I noticed on the left side the trembling of her neck, the tension in her jaw, the left hind, which was almost anticipating that this was not going to be easy and was almost doing a bit of a dance behind, shuffling from right to left hind. And it was almost like she was not knowing where to place that left hind. And for me, this is when I slow down. Now, the old version of Nika, the early therapist, the keen, determined people pleaser, would have kept going and got almost a little bit in my head about trying to figure out what's going on. And you know this as a horse person, that when we get too much in our head, especially when working with an animal that is non-verbal and that is totally in their body, it actually makes you go further away from understanding what's going on. The question I asked myself, am I listening? I stood back. I began from the muzzle, the nostrils, working my way up, looking at the eyes, looking at the masseter muscle, looking at the ears, the head, the top of the head, following down the neck, down the spine of the neck towards the chest, going into detail of comparing the right side to the left side, into the pec girdle, looking down the limb, following the limb all the way down the carpus, all the way down to the hoof, and then back up the hoof towards the withers, looking at the entire spine, how it is, no judgment, looking at the right side, the left side, the abdominals, the rib cage, the lumbar spine, looking at the pelvis, the tail, how's the tail set, the hind leg, the engine. What is going on? Just looking. Are there any differences? What can I see? What do I feel when I'm comparing these sides? I even got a block. I stood on a block and looked from a different view, looked from up above, looking at the shoulders, looking at the rib cage, looking at the withers, looking at the spine, the lumbar spine, the pelvis, from a dorsal view. By that I just mean a higher view, so I was looking down. What could I see? Again, what could I feel? What was the horse trying to tell me? Here's what I saw. The muscles along the wither, looking from the top, the muscles around the scapula on the left were so much bigger than the right. Like so much bigger. Moving my eyes down, comparing the rib cage left to right, there was a difference in the muscles behind the left scapula going into the rib cage on the left as well. It looked bulged, it looked bigger. I stepped down from my block, walked around to the front and looked at the chest. Looked at the shoulders and thought, point of shoulder into the pec girdle between the front legs. There's a difference. The right pec, the muscles on the right side were bigger than the left. Well, isn't this interesting? Now looking at the back, from the top, stepping down from the block, taking a step back, the right side of her pelvis was so much bigger than the left. So we already have 3 significant differences without even touching the mare, where I'm going, wow, there is so much going on in this body. Her entire body was telling a story, was screaming a story. I'd love to know your thoughts. Comment below and let me know. In these moments, I really have to stop my mind going, it's that. If this muscle is bigger than that, then it's that problem. Or if I'm seeing this significant asymmetry, then it must be this. I have to actually stop these thoughts. And let's face it, they can't always stop. So it's actually not reacting to them and just going, okay, that could be a possibility. I've just met this mare. I've just picked up her front feet. I see and feel the difference. I'm now looking at the body and I'm going, there is such a significant difference in her muscle development. Instead of going straight into treatment mode, why don't I see her move? This is where things took a completely different turn, and this video is called I Love Being Wrong, because what I assumed I would see in the movement based on the static assessment, so how she was in the stable, and also what I saw in her body, my pre-judgment, my pre-ideas experience was giving me the clues on how she would move. I was wrong. In part 2 of this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I saw and what I was wrong about. If you want to learn more about how to know what's going on in your horse's body and understand these patterns and what all these asymmetries mean, I've got a free Skool group. Now, it is limited on spots before it becomes a paid monthly subscription. However, come and join us. It's called the Female Rider Code. The link is in the description below.